Alright, for this exercise, you're going to create a simple desk calendar. From the Moodle page, you should download the desk calendar exercise zip file. And inside of this folder, I'm giving you a variety of color swatches to pick and choose from. And you can see there's also a little preview of what those swatches will look like. And also a variety of different styles that you can use for your layout. I want you to use these styles as a basic example of what I'm looking for. Yours doesn't have to look exactly like this. As a matter of fact, I encourage you to have your own style and to change things up to fit your design needs. But I will show you in this exercise how to lay out the basic things that I'm looking for this particular exercise. So let's jump into InDesign. I've already pre-made this one, but I'll go ahead and start from scratch. We'll go to File, come on, and create a new document. The size of our document is going to be 7 inches wide and 5 inches tall. We can turn preview on and see exactly what it looks like. We do want to turn off facing pages, and we'll need 12 pages total, one for each month of the calendar. As far as the margins go, we can set those to 0. We won't have to worry about margins. But we will turn on our bleed and give our bleed 0.125 inches on the top, bottom, left, and right, all sides of your document. Everything else looks good, so when we say OK, we've got our document already set up. I see when I made this, it didn't change up my margins, so I'm going to go up to Layout, down to Margins and Columns, and reset all of those back to 0, the way they should be. Say OK, now we're good to go. The next thing I need to do is to load one of my color swatches that I want to work from. To do this, open your Swatches palette. At the top right-hand side, click the Options, and we're going to load the swatches. Swatches can be saved in ASE files, and this allows you to use your swatches on multiple computers or on multiple documents without having to recreate them. I've got mine saved under the exercises. Here's my swatches, and you can get a preview of it, but I like the Urban Groove swatches to use. With those chosen, we can click Open, and you can see now there's a folder called Urban Groove, and they've been added to my swatches, bottom of my swatches panel. These are the colors that I'm going to use when I create my layout, and we'll save this for later once we start doing our styling. Let's drag this back over here. The next thing we need to do, in order to quickly format every single page, we're going to open our Pages palette and work in the A Master page. This means everything that's on the A Master will be applied to all of the pages that we're working in. Double-click A Master, and so once it's highlighted, you know you're working inside of here. And we're going to begin working in this environment. So that I can see one of the styles that I want to work from, let's move this down and look at the different ways we can lay this out. There's Style 1, which has this particular flow. Style 2 has a different setup and placement for my contact information. And Style 3 has a different setup for where I can place my other elements as well. I'm going to work with Style 1. And just so I can see it, I'm going to drag it off to the side of my artboard and put it right there. Of course, we do need to make it much smaller. What I don't want you to do is to place it on your document and just trace over it as if you're copying it verbatim. Feel free to make your own style, but use this as a reference for how things look. Okay, the first thing we need to create is our grid for all the numbers in our calendar. To do this, we're going to grab our Type tool. I'll zoom in so we can see it. And I'm going to click and drag to initially create a text box. I'm still holding down my mouse button. I'm not let go of it yet. And hit my up and right arrows. I'll hit right until I get 7 columns. That's 5, 6, 7. And I'll hit up until I get 6 rows. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So these are where we're going to put our numbers into. When I let go of my mouse, you can see they're all created. And if I turn on my links, I can go to View, go to my Extras, and show the threads. You can see that they're all threaded together. And this is very important for putting our picture, our text inside of it. Let's turn off our threads for now. Hide text threads. I'm going to grab my type tool, click inside the first box, and type the number 1. Now I want a new one inside of each frame. So rather than spacing or tabbing over, I'm going to type the number 1, go up to type, insert a break character. We're going to insert a frame break. The keyboard shortcut is Shift and the Enter key, not the return key, the Enter key that's on your keypad at the far right hand side of your keyboard. Frame break puts another one there, and hit 2, and go back up to type, insert a break, a frame break, we'll do 3, or Shift Enter, 4. And I'm just going along and doing all of these very quickly, 1 through 31, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 29, 30, and finally 31. Now what's best about doing this frame break is that if I needed to move these down, all I have to do is put my cursor at the beginning of my text box and hit the tab key, and it will shift everything over to exactly the date that I need it to start. And this is pretty cool. The next thing I can do is to select my text and center it up inside of my, my working area. We'll choose center alignment. That'll give me a left and right alignment that's centered. But also, I want to go to choose my selection tool, select all of the boxes, go up to Object, and open up your text frame options. This will allow me to center vertically all of my text. To do this, choose Vertical, Justification, and set it to Center. This will put it dead center in all of the text boxes that we have. The final thing I need to do is if I want to bring these closer together, I can select all of my text boxes. When I click on the edge down here, if I was to click and drag, I can change the size of my text boxes. But if I wanted to bring them closer together, hold down your space bar when you drag, and this will keep the same size, but readjust the placement of them and the distance between each one of your text boxes. Of course, we'll need to do the same thing for formatting of Monday through Friday, or excuse me, Sunday through Saturday. One text box, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They're all linked up, so we can do Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and finally Saturday. Again, centering up that text to make it look good. That's the basics for creating this kind of structure for your numbers and for your information that goes inside of it. I can do the same thing for typing out the month that I have. Get yourself a text box. And so if I wanted January to be centered inside of the box, type it out, choose Center Alignment at the top, open up your text frame options, and also do a vertical justification that's centered as well. Say OK, now it'll be centered inside that box regardless the size and placement of the box that we're working with. The next thing that we need to create are a series of lines that we can use to write some notes or do some sort of scribbling off to the side. To quickly create these lines, I want to move this over to give myself a little bit more room. Grab your line segment tool. I'm going to set my fill to none just because I get in the habit of doing that. Let's draw off one simple line. To create a series of it that flows downward, select your line, go to Edit, Step and Repeat. I'm going to turn on Preview so I can see what it looks like. We're going to set our vertical offset to be 1 pica, 1 P0, and our horizontal offset to be just 0. As I increase the count, it automatically copies that line and gives it the offset of whatever I've set for that to be. And your count may need to be different depending on your placement and the size, but when I'm done, I can say OK, and I've got a quickly, easily copied set of lines. I can select them, change the width of them as necessary, go in and change the color and placement and everything else. So this is the basics of what I'm trying to get you to set up for this calendar. How to create a grid that's linked together and how to step and repeat several lines. For the rest of it, I also want you to add your name and your contact information. I want you to colorize the background, set color and fonts for all of the text that's inside of it, and give me an area that gives a Bible verse or some sort of motivational quote for each month that we have. Let's go back into my main document. And so here I've already built one out. Again, yours can look exactly the same however you want. The colors that I used when I created this, if you go into my swatches, I used the colors that were set for, there's my swatches, for the urban groove. That particular red, that particular blue, I didn't use all of them. I didn't even use the purple for this one, or the yellow. But I did use white, and I kept it to this color scheme. So I'm going to paste this into my new document as if I had already finished up creating it. And I can see I've already got a font issue, so we'll just quickly change up that particular font to something different. Let's use Myriad Pro because I know Myriad will work. And since I'm working in my master page, you can see when I double click on page 1, it fills it in for all the information for every page that I have. The final thing I need to do is to go into each month and change up the necessary information. So if I was working on this calendar, I need to see when January 1st started for this year. I can go to Google and let's do a calendar, 2017 calendar. Do it for the year that's created. So since I'm working in Google Calendar, or 2017, I can see January started on a Sunday. So I've already got it set up, working good. But for February, I need to change up this one for page 2. Since it's on a master page, I can't easily edit what's on here. To unlock it, to unbound it from the master page, hold down the Shift and the Command key and click on the object you want to change. So Shift and Command, clicking on January, will allow me to highlight January and now change that particular font. Let's do February. I need to shift these down. I can see February starts on a Wednesday. So Shift and Command, click on that one. Grab my Type tool, and I'm just going to tab over till it starts on a Wednesday. Remember, your final row on the bottom of yours may or may not have numbers on it. That's okay. When we go into preview mode, you can see what it looks like. And the final thing is I need to change up whatever verse or quote that I need to add down here. Repeat this process for each of the calendars that you have. Do one for March, April, May, so on and so forth. Let your design match exactly the appropriate calendar that should be created, but also each one should have a similar design and similar layout. As far as the colors go, as far as fonts go, as far as placements go, I want you to have fun and create your own design with this. When you are finished, I want you to package this file. You can go up to File and Package. Remember, packaging will save all of your fonts or images that you have. And just step through all of the information. We do need to save it. Remember, this will create a folder on your desktop. So let's say this was the package folder. To zip it, Control and click, and compress that one. And that zip file that was created is what you'll upload to Moodle once you're finished.